Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Joel Rosen. I am the Adrenal Fatigue Recovery Ninja, and I am in my civilian scrubs today. I'm doing a Facebook Live impromptu. I'm in the office, I am doing some notes here, and there is no sleep for the weary. Is that the same? Anyways, I wanted to talk to you about, I had one of our patients come in, actually a neighbor of mine, and she was telling me about, for the first time ever in her life, she had a very severe panic attack, and it was actually on the plane, and she actually had to get off the plane when they were on the taxiing on the tarmac, and get to be let off the plane. And so I hear a lot of these things in terms of I'm overwhelmed, I can't drive, I can't go out in public, I'm getting all of these panic attacks, and to the point where I can't even travel. I don't even want to go on the plane. So let's talk about troubleshooting why these things are. And I think it was really important because she asked me, what do I think it could be? And I said, oh, it could be a whole bunch of different things, and I want you to think about it. So think about being told that you're crazy, being told that there's nothing wrong because we looked at your blood test and everything looks normal, being put on different types of medications, and ultimately being told there's something wrong with you, not with me, doctor, because I'm looking all over your nose here, and because I can't figure it out, it's got to be you. You got to be crazy. You're the crazy one. How many of you have heard that? How many of you have been told that there's nothing wrong? It's all in your head, and you really, deep down want the attention, and you like to feel overwhelmed and anxious, and feel like your heart's going to come through your chest, and feel like you need to go to the emergency room, or in fact go to the emergency room the last 5 times last week because you enjoy it. I mean, that's ridiculous. So it really upsets me when a doctor has the couth and the ego and the insecurity to tell you that there's nothing wrong and it's got to be all in your head. In fact, I had a 97-year-old patient who was told by a doctor that it must be in his head. I mean, give me a break. And so anyways, so what I wanted to do is I want to troubleshoot this with you and talk to you about why you may be having these unexpected, unexperienced in the past bouts of anxiety, and what it has to do with the adrenal system. So what we were talking about with my patient today, I thought, hey, this would be an awesome video to discuss with you guys today. So the first thing is, number one, you're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you in the sense that's all in your head. Number two, just because the doctors haven't figured it out doesn't mean that there's nothing going on there. So what would I be thinking about? Number one, I would be thinking about the genetics. The genetics. So a lot of people will say, well, what do you mean by the genetics? And I mean by that is, do you have anxieties in the family? Are there panic disorders in the family? Are there mood disorders? Are there obsessions? Are there compulsions? Are there addictions? Every one of us have that in the family. Uncle Bob, he was the crazy one. He, was schizophrenic, or he had mood disorders, or mom is anxious and I'm anxious. So if that's the case, then your genetics have the real predisposition for you expressing that as well. And you have to know that. You have to look at your genetics, get a test, go to Ancestry.com or go to 23andMe. We like Ancestry.com. And then what you're looking at is you're looking at your ability to make and break your neurotransmitters effectively. Meaning, how well do you make dopamine and serotonin and GABA and catecholamines and acetylcholine, on all the things that help you think and deal with stressors. That's number one. So there's a genetic predisposition. But what I also told her is, what happens if you've just been in fight or flight mode all the time? So she's a mother of 2 young girls, and she's constantly under stress, and her body demands that she makes really, really good neurotransmitters over and over and over and over and over again, to the point where supply no longer equals demand. So I would be looking at, number one, genetics. Number two, I'd be looking at pre-existing stressors. So in her case, she told me, well, I don't really have that stressful a life. And I told her it doesn't have to be psychosocial stress. It could be chemical stress. You live in a moldy home, or you just did renovations and they fumigated, or it could be that you have major low-grade infections, you have candida and yeast overgrowth, or you have exposures to chemicals and toxins or pesticides and antibiotic residues, the things that you eat. All of that can create a lot of inflammation in your body, and that's going to cause an impact on your neurotransmitters. The other thing I would be thinking about is her diet. What is she eating every day? Is she eating enough proteins? Is she absorbing her proteins? Is she making enough stomach acids to break down her proteins and utilize iron and B12 in order to make energy and to make neurotransmitters? In fact, she showed me her blood tests, and her iron levels were, her ferritin was 17. Now, some doctors, and on the lab test, it says 12 to 150. So how can you tell me 13 and 149 are the same things? It's ridiculous. In fact, a lot of doctors like to see ferritin be anywhere between 75 to 100. So in her case, her ferritin is really low, and if her ferritin is really low, she's going to have all these anxieties and mood disorders, because you need iron to make your neurotransmitters. So she left the office with a little bit of iron support. Number 4, and not only diet, so is she eating a lot of packaged foods? Is she getting a lot of synthetic, fortified, enriched cereal bars or grains, or fake stuff, where she's not getting a lot of leafy greens, she's not getting good vitamins and minerals, and she wasn't. But these would be the things that I'd need to think of to find out, hey, what's going on here? Because if she's getting synthetic enriched fortified foods, she's not able to, and she has an MTHFR or methylation problem, her body has to work really hard to convert synthetic into natural things, and that's energy producing. And if she's not, or demanding, and she's not, taking enough energy to do this, she can have anxiety and panic attacks, and your blood tests won't tell you this. So I'd think about diet. The other thing I'd think about is blood sugar. How is she keeping her blood sugar stable? Is she missing meals throughout the day? Is she missing breakfast? Is she missing lunch? Is she missing dinner? Is she having a lot of times between when she ate last to when she eats next? Or is she eating a whole bunch of carbs, where her blood sugar levels go up and down, up and down, up and down? Or is she inflamed? Does she have some kind of inflammation, which is going to drive her cortisol and her blood sugar levels and produce a lot of instability with her neurotransmitters? What about her hormones? I mean, she told me she's getting very, very heavy cycles. She's getting at that age now where you become perimenopausal, and it's a little shorter. It's not quite 28 days. There's a lot more days of bleeding. It may be longer. It may be erratic. Hormonally speaking, her hormones are imbalanced, and that can create a lot of anxiety, components as well. The other thing we talked about, which was really good, was just basic stress. I mean, how is she dealing with stress? And I think that would sort of this one here too. So meaning, what do you do before you go to bed? Are you constantly on your phone? Do you have all of this stimulation where, I come home at the end of the week, and yesterday I was typing, and I'm actually working on my book, and I looked at the clock and it was 10:15, and I thought, oh my goodness, I've been working Monday through Friday already in the office. I came home and it's already 10:15, and my brain's fried. And really, I need to walk away from any stimuli. Does my room look like an airport control station? Do I have my notebook? Do I have my computer? Do I have my TV? Does it look like an entertainment suite? Do I have all of these verbal and visual and stimulation in my bed when it's time to chill out and go to bed? Am I going right from night to day and day to night? Am I listening to the circadian rhythm of the earth and dialing it down so I can get out of overwhelm? These are all the things that I would be thinking about. So I'd be thinking about genetic components. Is there MTHFR? Is there other predispositions that don't allow you to make and break down your neurotransmitters effectively? Do we have some pre-existing stressors, difficult relationships, difficult finances, difficult jobs, difficult peers, difficult family members? How's our diet? Are we eating healthy foods? Are there natural foods? Have you seen anything that was made from the earth, or has it been made from the factory? How are you controlling your glucose levels? Are you even absorbing your foods? Can you break down your proteins? Are you getting enough proteins? Are you getting too much proteins? Are you getting too much carbs? Are you eating enough healthy fats? You know, don't be so concerned about what the next major supplement can be when you're not even controlling these things. Inflammation, are low-grade inflammatory sources? Do you have candida growth? Have you taken a lot of antibiotics? Do you have mold exposures? Do you have a major virus? Do you have any parasitic activities? All of that stuff. Are you eating non-organic conventional food and being exposed to organophosphates and chemicals and pollutants and so forth? What's going on with your hormones? Do you have estrogen disruptors in the environment? Are you drinking out of a plastic bottle? Do you go to Starbucks and they put that lid on there and all that steam goes up and it goes down into the coffee? That could be another thing. And then ultimately, when was the last time you went on vacation? When was the last time you went on a date? When was the last time that you just unplugged and you went to the spa? When was the last time that you put the oxygen mask on yourself instead of worrying about all the other people when your plane is going down? Those are all the things. Yet you're crazy because we don't see anything on your blood test that show that you should be anxious and stressed. So anyways, I just wanted you to think about this because it's really, really important to end your sympathetic, overdrive is looking at these things. So anyways, my name is Dr. Joel Rosen. I am the Adrenal Fatigue Recovery Ninja, and I look forward to ending your adrenal fatigue nightmare. Have an awesome day.